What's up with it, guys? Hopefully, we're having a blessed day. Hopefully, not too bad, but say hopefully life isn't getting you too down. But if uh, if experience holds true, I'm sure that it is. But that's why I want to come on here and I want to tell you, I want to let you know that there is hope. There's a way to get out of the jam oh, thank that free kill. But there's a way to to get you get yourself out of the jam that you find yourself in. And and then of course, this isn't something that everybody's going to resonate with. Oh shit. Yeah. But of course this isn't something that everybody's going to resonate with. Everybody's going to believe to be true or they're not going to apply what I may say. Man, it's on my headset wanting to act a little funny. But I can tell you through my own personal I can tell you I don't get why they're acting like that. Okay, maybe that fixed it. Maybe not. I can tell you through my own personal experience that there is hope in getting out of the heartbreak that you have, getting out of the lower hmm, oh, getting out of the lower spectrum of the emotions, I guess I'll say. And that's one thing that we have to learn as people is that we can't allow emotions to mess us up, to set us on a path that we can won't. Wow, that was horrible. But we don't want to have emotions to set us on a path of disobedience, set us on a path of uh hmm, it just we won't want to allow it to set us on a fallen path because it will very easily do so. And we are called to be just, we are called to be righteous, we are called to serve the Lord our God in spirit and in truth in all ways. Always. But and I mean again, I've always been a skeptic. I am in this even in the current moments I find myself in and I'm still, I'm being reassured daily, which is very necessary and very appreciative towards the Lord because I struggle. And I mean, I think we all do. I mean, it's natural to struggle. It's kind of a part of being a human is to struggle. It's kind of a part of the game, it seems. Can't get stronger unless we struggle, unless we have some hardship. But for me, it's without Jesus, there'd be no way that I could do it. There'd be no way that I could have gotten as far as I have no way. Every time with the guys laying down, a frequent thing with me. But there's, there you go. But there's no way that I could have changed. I could have grown. I could have repented of myself and begun to step into the authority that I've always had. And what is damn headset starting to annoy me. But that's what we have to learn as a people, is that there is a way to actually have hope in this life. There's a way to experience reality and to be able to handle reality while not losing your cool, while not losing your peace, while not losing yourself. But we have to be able to shake the false self in order to step into the true self. And when I say that, I mean, what I mean by that is each and every one of us, look at there, hey, that's not a bad game. But each and every one of us has an ego side of ourselves that we allow to control us, that we allow to drive our purpose, allow us to drive our actions. And you have to learn that, or we have to realize that the flesh will always fail us, and the flesh is going to continue to fail us. And if we don't do something different, we're going to stay stuck in the same cycles that we're in. And of course, that's where repentance comes into play. But for me, it's like when I was in the world, and I mean that more symbolically than literally, because obviously I'm still here because, I mean, obviously. But when I was in the world, it was as if I I didn't have hope anymore. I didn't have a reason to keep fighting. I didn't have a reason to keep going, because even though I care and I love those around me, they are still it's still not enough when you don't love yourself, when you don't trust yourself, when you don't value yourself in a sort of sense. And it was like I was always at war with myself. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love, well, now, but speaking more past tense in this moment, but I always loved myself and always tried to take care of myself. But because I always loved myself and always took care of myself, I managed to mess up a lot more than I was able to fix. I was always in this state of surviving, and while surviving, I lost everything else. I lost hope, I lost love, I lost patience, I lost kindness, I lost my joy, I lost confidence, which I never really had confidence, honestly. That was one thing with how my walk has been, is I never had a childhood, and due to the fact that I didn't have any childhood, I was it's like I was already kind of not in a fallen state, but I was already on the way to it. And like it took a lot to truly break me, but once it did, it was like there was no going back. There was no There wasn't peace anymore. There wasn't hope anymore. And like that right there, that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to kind of poorly communicate, but I'm trying to help people. Poo. I'm trying to help people figure out that there is truly and truthfully, there is a way to have hope again. And it's through the relationship with Jesus Christ. It's through that personal relationship where, yeah, you got to do the work. Yeah, you have to show up. You have to read the Gospels and you have to repent from yourself because, of course, we know what's wrong. We know, or well, we know in a sense, we know what's right and wrong, but still we are unaware of how each of our, oh, glad he was still there, but we're unaware of how each of our actions can take root in our life, how they can mold us to become something that we no longer recognize. They can push us to become dark, hopeless, heartbroken individuals, and that right there is no way to live. That way of life is not living, it's surviving, and that's why I want to, in the best sense possible, I want to be able to help people find that hope again and find the way to life. And that's what Jesus calls himself. He says that he is the way, he is the truth, and he is the life. Without him, there is no life. Without him, there is no hope. Without him, we're not going to gain access back into the Father's kingdom just due to the fact that we are fallen beings. We are in a fallen state where we're confused, we're broken, we're lost, we are it's like we're all, I don't know, I didn't know what point I was going with that, but we are all in this broken state and we're all missing the mark that was set before us, way back at the beginning of time, because we all have a purpose. Each and every one of us have a we all have something greater to do than just survive and just live. That's what most people are doing nowadays. Most people think the point of this life is just to live, just to feed the flesh, just to, have hookups or have eat food or, do all these different things that are absolutely it's shallow. And that's a big reason why I know that that's a big reason why people are in the state that they are because us as humans, we crave purpose. It's put in our it's in our design to be purposeful with our time, be purposeful with our intentions, be purposeful with everything we do, with the words we speak and the actions we perform, the choices we make. But the problem is everybody is in the flesh and we don't realize that the flesh is flawed. The flesh is continuously, we have these spiritually dark forces that are whispering to us, that are trying to get us to fall short of God's glory. And we can try all day, every day with our own willpower to beat these dark forces, but we don't have authority over them, not like Jesus does, not like the Son of Man and the Son of God does. And that's what my theory is that Jesus was the creator come down to kind of bridge the gap with us. Because of course, when we're in the flesh, and of course, and that's the thing, no one thinks that they're the problem. No one thinks that they have an issue. Everyone believes that they're doing the right thing, they're following the right path, and they have the right truth. But with me, like I say, I've always been a skeptic. I've always questioned everything. And it's like when it comes to my relationship with Jesus, it's like no matter how much I try, no matter how much I question, no matter how much I rebel, it's like he always shows up. He always makes a way. He's always dependable. And I know that he's going to finish that he started. I know that he hasn't led me this far for me to fall. It's just a matter of me doing what I know. Okay, you done? Good? Them headsets acting a little retarded. But no, it's just a matter of it's just a matter of trusting in them, really. Like, and that's the hardest thing for me, and I'm sure you can relate, but I got trust issues, so severe trust issues. Like, I don't trust anyone or anything, and I'm working on it. Um, and of course, I'm working on it, and I'm trying to get better at that, but I can't help but to recognize the patterns that I've seen before. Because, of course, every one of us, we all have similar designs with how our minds work and how we're designed. So, of course, every single one of us, we recognize, oh, we recognize, we recognize things that continuously happen to us. And for me, it's really trying my patience, not gonna lie to you. Oh, look who it is. But for me, it's like I say, I do have trust issues, but it's like I've seen, might just start doing this through the controller. But it's like, of course, I've have, man, you want, hold on, give me a second. I gotta figure something out. This right here ain't working. Isn't there a way to do it this manually? Could be why I only have my damn, and I, oh, minute, there, it's over here, plug this into here. Okay, maybe that. Oh wow, I did not like that. I'm now on a leash. Oh wow, that guy right there sucks. Let's see if I can get him. Ah, grenade. Guess not. But no, for me, it's like like I say, I have very wow, I'm a lot more into the game now that I'm leaning forward. It's kind of odd how our focus works as humans. But anywho, like I have this very great pattern recognition to where, and I mean, I think all of us have it because any human I've talked to, we've all noticed things and we've all been through these different circumstances that has changed our own perception in our mind. But it's like I've had this severe pattern recognition, so I can't help but to be doubtful of certain relationships, certain individuals. Like every one of my friends has now basically turned on me one way or the other. Every one of my well, I mean, family's just the F word, but all of my family have, they just, and again, I understand it because I know now through my own personal understanding and my own self-awareness that they are just trying to, they're trying to survive. Well, I knew that was about to happen. I took way too long. But of course, people are just trying to survive. People are trying to do what they know or do what they've been taught by their parents or their parents' parents and how they should behave, how they should. What? Where they at though? Oh, there she is. And of course, with me, it's like I say, I have a hard time trusting anyone. But when it comes to my relationship with Christ, it's as if it's like He just keeps on proving me wrong. And that's one thing that I can also say too is in my own personal journey, it's not impossible, but it's less likely to happen than it is that I get proved wrong at this point. And that's why, like, I'm open. I hope people will listen. People will begin to question me, comment, like, subscribe, of course. But I want people to try what I say, what I know, because that way I can truly step into who I'm supposed to be. I can truly step into the truth that I'm destined to envision. No, not envision. What's the word? E Embody. There we go. I found it. Took a second. See, sometimes that happens. But
You're supposed to be the CIA's best. Act like it.
grenade out. Houseway. But it's like, dang, nabbit. I should have known that. Duh. But no, like for me, it's as if like I say, I have these severe trust issues. I have these unbelievably helpful but also annoying mind that overthinks, overanalyzes, that over that tries to predict things, that tries to change things, manually, tries to do all these different things. So I've had to slowly break my flesh self to step into my Christ self. But it's without that mediator with the Father, without Jesus Christ, it's like we can't really step into our true potential. Like, and again, with me, like I say, it's like once I began that relationship with Jesus and once I begun to embody, not embody, but since I've begun to lose myself in order to gain myself, since I've begun to change from the inside out, begun to repent from myself. And again, it's very different. Okay, so beforehand, and again, I'm sure you can relate. Beforehand, it was as if I would try to change off my own merit. So, for example, okay, I will stop trying to be lustful, masturbate or uh, getting on these dating websites and trying to find a girl. And I've realized that was the bad way because I was looking for the wrong thing. My heart was in the wrong place, which we don't realize as humans is that our hearts are usually in the wrong place. Anyways, I was doing these things and I would try to do it through my own willpower. And I do have a very strong willpower, so I would be able to restrict it. Oh, really? Just while moving? That's fairly easy. Anyways, but I was able to restrict my, I was able to, with my willpower, stop myself for, well, actually, if I'm really be honest, before I came to Jesus, I never wanted to stop myself. I would do like that. I could do that, or there was times where I've done it 6 times a day just because I could. Because something bad will happen, I would start doing it again. I was a teenager too, so I was primed, ready to go. But now, like, now it's like I don't do it. Like, dang nabbit, I shouldn't have pushed around that corner. You gotta use your cover. But now it's like it's rare, unbelievably rare to the point where it's like I never even would have fathomed that I could do it or I could stop doing it. Like now it's once 4 or 5 months. And sorry, I got sidetracked searching for that guy. But like I said, now dang, I gotta stop pushing those corners so hard. But patience is a virtue for damn sure. So it helps a lot with everything. And again, like for me, that's how I learned to overcome those temptations was through patience. But like I say, it's like I never could change off of my willpower. It was always off the grace that I got with the relationship with Jesus Christ. It's like I I would still mess up. Ah, that same dude's like, okay, man, that is such a big thing for me. I don't know why it irks my nerves like it does. Okay, sure. Who was that? Shoot me. Like I was saying, sorry. But it's like I would try to do it through my willpower, but I failed. Always. It's like I would fail and I would just feel 10 times worse after the fact of me failing. And it's like I didn't even realize why I did the things that I was doing. And even though I didn't want to do them, I still would do them. And the things that I wanted to do, I didn't do. Like I wanted to be loyal to people. I wanted to help people. I wanted to be open for people. I wanted to be transparent in order to help lead and guide people. I wanted to be able to communicate, to be able to share, to be able to self-sacrifice in order for the greater good. Essentially, love unconditionally. Damn, my timing was just a hand off. There's a sprinkle of it. And that's also one thing I will say. Just be patient with my way of thinking and my way of doing things, because I do have a sprinkle of the tism in there. So I'm just not wired the same way. But anyways, back to our regularly scheduled programming. But it's as if, like I say, it's like I would try to stop through my own will. I would try to stop through my own own kind of knowledge or my own sense of justice or any of those things like that. But it's like I would continuously fall and fail. But since I've committed to that my relationship with Jesus Christ, it's as if it's like I would fall, but then he would still come through, and it's like I still would get the grace rather than the judgment. Because it's like before, and like I say, it's like every time I tried to do something right, I would just fail, and then I would end up worse. I would end up going deeper in the hole, essentially. But now it's like no matter how many times I fall, I will not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholds me. And that I know that that's a scripture in Psalms. I just can't tell you exactly which one. But I know now through my own personal experience and through my own trial and error that yeah, there's a way to beat yourself, and not like the way I used to. So sorry, well, it was just too easy. But there's a way to do it, and there's a way it's possible. And like I say, there's hope. It's just you have to build that relationship with Jesus Christ. You have to learn the Gospels. You have to learn His life story, and then you have to embody it. You got to walk the walk that you talk. You know, you can't just sit there and say one thing and do another. That's not how it works. And I know that's a big thing when it comes to Christians is that we are considered, hypocrites. And I wouldn't, well, I would say I'm a Christian, but I'm a Gnostic Christian. I believe that we have to experience it personally. We can't just we can't just blindly trust and blindly follow on faith. But with faith, all things are possible. And faith has become, I think the law of faith overpowers the Mosaic law. And that's why Jesus came. He came to, and again, he didn't come to destroy the law. The law is still here. And we have to follow the law in order to align with reality. Because again, this game that we're playing, the game called life, it has rules, there's expectations that are put in place for us. And if we don't follow the rules of the game, then the game's going to be harder. It's not like a video game to where you can hack it and you can find your way and wiggle around it and still like, nah, man, you can't do that. To think that you can outsmart, outmaneuver. Ooh, I like that camo. That's pretty damn cool. That's cool. I'm a very minimalistic person. Forgive me. But I like that too, though. Yeah. But anyways, we it's like we're all in this fallen state. No one has hope anymore. No one has any idea on what they need to do. And that's why if I can help, I will. Because I do believe that when the flood happened in Noah's days and, the father killed all of the offspring of the fallen angels, their spirits are still left here. So spiritually, they're still here and they're still tempting us. They're whispering in our ears, trying to tell us to commit. Well, okay, let me correct myself. I think that they're a part of us, or they become a part of us through life experiences. So for me, like when I was molested, when I was 5, 6, maybe it was maybe even 4. I don't know. My time is a little, or my age reference is a little iffy at times. But I can give you a pretty safe bet. So let's just say 5, 6. I was molested. So because of that, that's why my lust was so unbelievably hard to control, because I've been fighting the spirit of lust since I was 5 or 6. And of course, I don't blame, well, I don't blame anyone personally, just because I know that everyone's a victim. Each and every single one of us are in a fallen state. Each and every single one of us we're victims to our environment. It's like we're destined to fall almost. You son of a biscuit. And for me, like I say, it wasn't until I started building that relationship and building that relationship with the Christ and relationship with Jesus, that through the gospel, through reading his word, through, so again, that's all, all of these different spiritual books are in essence true, but goal, look at there. But I think that the Holy Bible, the story of Jesus, is the most reliable source. Because again, you got, that was something that always stuck out to me, is that you have all these different denominations who give Jesus this sense of authority and this sense of power. So it's like, yeah, naturally, I would rather go to the strongest source possible. I would rather, I, I could only afford to do it once. I could only afford to, oh wow, that was great. Caught it right in the face. Not like a good face shot, huh? Or facial, if you would. But anyways, sorry. But for me, it's as if, oh, there's a teammate there. Oh, there's another teammate there. But it's like the more I commit to my walk with Christ, the more I'm growing in understanding. Because again, that's the whole reason why we have to repent. Like, yes, we must, building that relationship with Jesus and committing to that walk is the biggest key to the door, I guess. That's the way back into God's grace. There you go. Because right now we're not living under grace, we're living under law, and if any of us are under law, we're going to fail. That's why so many people fell short back in the days of Noah and Moses, because they were under the law, so there was still a way for them, of course, to, I'm not having a good game. I gotta love it. I don't care. But of course, we all have fallen from grace. And that's because whenever we're under the law and we're living according to the law, we're, I mean, no, not victims, but in a way, victims of it. That's dumb. Yeah, put it all in the same vicinity. That way, one shot can blow them all up. But for me, and like I say, I mean, I'm trying it. I really am. I'm trying Jesus in every sense of the word. Dude, y'all guys need to freaking breathe. They just come around a corner just going ballistic. And it's like, that right there is not how you're going to win. Or that's not how. Ah, you shot me in the ass. Sorry, there's Training Day reference. I can't help but get in my head every time I do shoot someone in the butt. Anywho, for me, I had no hope. I had no chance of even surviving. I didn't think I was bound to fail. So I did. I did exactly what was supposed to happen. I failed. And when I fail hard. Because of that, I mean, I was going to take my life. If Jesus fails me, that's still the plan, honestly. If I was to be 100% real. Just because, well, for starters, I know that he won't. But at the same time, I've them two need to stop running together. That's not a smart move in hardcore. That's not bad. At least I was able to kind of come up a little bit. But it's like since I've begun the relationship, I've even when I fail, I still win. Like there's still a way that's being made for me. And it's just a matter of me committing to Jesus instead of committing to myself, committing to the devils of this reality. And it's hard, of course there's a lot of details in the mix that you can get confused by, especially in today's world of knowledge and technology. It's like, yeah, you want to know something, just look it up. But for me, a lot of what I say comes through my own personal experience. It's me trying and testing things. Because again, I don't speak things unless I know it to be true. At this point in my walk, I don't like to spread false information. I don't like to be reckless with my words because I know how powerful my words actually are. Because even me, like I might have talked about it before, but when I was young, I was one of the class clowns. I was the guy in high school who, no matter what, they had a joke. No matter what, they were quick on it. They could throw it out there. They're like, I was always ready to just insult somebody. Not really. Like that was just my way of bonding. Ooh. It's like that's both versions of my damn personality is like right here. It's like loud and proud and quiet minimalistic. Instinct poop far out. Okay. But how do I should have went the other way. I like to kind of keep it, let it fall to chance or fate. But that's the thing that I've realized too. Is like most people, like they don't want to turn to Jesus because one, it promotes or it tasks us of the action of change. It puts us in this position to where we have to do something different in order to follow his blueprint. And for me, it's as if It's as if everywhere I turned, every man, woman, child that I would try to get help from, it's as if it was always destined to fail, and it did fall. It fall right in my face. Son of a biscuit, I wanted that kill. But then again, now it's like I can't fall. It's like I'm not under the law anymore. It's like I'm under grace. I am moving through this physical life in a sense of faith instead of a sense of fear, because they both require us to believe in something that we don't see. So it's our choice to decide what we will allow to govern our existence. And most people won't even buy into the notion of faith because they haven't seen it for themselves. They haven't experienced it in their own life, in their own reality, in their own perspective. But that's why for me, like I say, I will loudly and proudly talk about what I know at this point because I've experienced it, you know. I've lived it. I am living it. I am in the midst of living it. And I mean, people will know if you will know if it doesn't work. I will come on here and I would probably state it because even yeah, I'm just like I know it'll work. That's the thing. I'm not even gonna say that. But if it did, I'm gonna be real no matter what. It's again being real, being genuine about who I am, what I do, what I believe, what I follow, what I accept, what I don't accept. That's all more important to me than anything else. Like, because honestly, I could not care less about any of your opinions. I've never been someone who's cared about people's opinions. Like, especially now that I am rooted in Christ, I really couldn't care about people's opinions because I know 90% of y'all are basically pissing in the wind. Y'all are y'all claim to have this truth and y'all claim to have this understanding when it's very apparent by your actions and by your lives that you're missing something. And that's what I can say. For me, I I don't I never want to be the cause of someone's fall. Well, saved my life. I never want to be the one who puts someone in a place to where they're hurting more or they're believing less. Anything of that sort. But now it's like I say, I'm in a position to where I'm seeing my outside world synchronize with my inside world. I am seeing in real time these realizations and these not epiphanies, but epiphany like scenarios that I never knew was possible before Christ, but also like I don't know, it's just like it still blows my mind because even okay, so here's a great example. So last night I buckled under peer pressure. Peer pressure of myself is the main thing, but I buckled under the pressure of myself and my environment, and I decided to smoke a blunt, to be exact. I don't smoke nothing crazy. Like, how to be real, my mom be smoking that. No, I'm not gonna say that. That's not my business to put out. But there's levels to it, I can say, and I know that. But smoking a blunt, and I got in my head. I got in my head hard. I was defeated almost. it felt like my hope that I've been holding on to for so long was dwindling. Ooh, that's a good word. But it's like it was falling away. And then, so I smoked. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, what if I am crazy? Because again, that's kind of that's how it feels. Like going out in faith and going out like as you follow him more and more, you begin to you begin to you begin to experience reality in such a different way that you do begin to question your own reasoning. But it's like, after a certain point, after you're doing right, then there's no point to really question. Anyways, so I'm sitting here, how I didn't know you could get up there. Huh, that's pretty cool. That just made me like this map a little more. Not the fact I just died from a guy up there, but the fact that you can. I could potentially get up there one day. But as I was saying, it's like okay, so as yeah, I gotta watch myself. Sorry about that. I do have ADHD for sure too. I've actually been diagnosed with that, so at times my mind kind of must have bounced. But I end up smoking, end up doubting, end up getting scared, and that's the thing is it's either you're growing your fear, you're growing your faith, or you're growing your fear. It's one or other. There's no gray area whenever it comes to dealing with Most High. Like you're either in the wrong or you're in the right. You're either up or you're down. But I'm smoking, I'm worrying this, that, and the third, and I am tasked to go to my sister's house to help her move stuff into a storage unit, which again on its own was trying in itself. Look at that, not bad for someone who ain't even paying attention. But it was tiring within itself, and I got the kill cam. Cool. But I'm sitting there and I go and I'm helping her and we're doing this, that, and the third, and I'm sitting there and she's kind of in a similar situation where she's being put out on faith too. She's losing the house that she was in. She's, just going through a lot. And we're both stepping out in faith. And that's kind of a reason why I'm doing this, because our paths have lined up very similarly, but also very differently. But anyways, we're sitting there and she's talking to me about how she's having this realization, and then she's actually going through the process of having a realization, almost like an epiphany type level realization. And I'm watching it, and of course I'm out of the moment. And it was kind of helpful because there was a time where I had an epiphany and my friend was in my position where he was out of the moment, and I couldn't understand to how he didn't see it, but it makes sense, so much more sense now. But anyways, we're sitting there, she's having this moment, and she's moving. There's a lot of stuff she's just going to throw away and not going to really worry about. So she has this wooden bat that I kind of like to play. I like to mess with whenever I was there, and she was going to trash it. So I was like, "Hey, can I have it?" And she said, "Sure." So I'm sitting here and I'm walking around with this bat as she's going through this, and it's probably maybe an hour later, maybe even a little more. We're sitting there, and we got done taking these multiple trips to the storage unit and fighting, just going through all these different trials of patience with me. A lot of it was like hygienic based stuff. She had a cat who I had to spray on stuff, which is a big reason why she threw a lot of stuff away. But anyways, it's like we were sitting there and I'm sitting there holding the bat, and she's just talking, and then she's like, "Oh, I want you to go to this church. Mercy Hill is what it's called. She's like, I want you to go to this church with me. And she hands me this little card. It's a little circular invitation type card. And she's just talking and I'm listening, not really saying much because I'm in my own mind. So I'm not going to talk. That's not who I am. I don't,
Taken the lead.
nah, I'm a listener before I'm a talker most of the time, unless I'm really comfortable. But she hands me this card and I'm sitting there holding the bat in my right hand. And then I'm holding the card in my right hand and I look down and I realize, and mind you, I realize it at the exact same time. I see her out of my peripheral realize it too. I see that the card she has me has baseballs on it, and I'm sitting there holding a baseball bat. Just I mean, you can call it a coincidence. I won't. That's a sass. In my opinion, a coincidence is a stupid notion. But you know, we both seen it. And I seen her and like at the exact same time. Like you can't make that up. You can't write that. There's something greater that's going on in me and her walk. And it's like even in my kind of my low state, even with my, the grogginess and she's sitting there in my own head and everything, this, that, and the third. So even with that, it's like I smiled so damn hard and I just started laughing and it was just, whoo, it was indescribable to, it's undescribable to really experience because again, it's like synchronizing with the outside world, especially with someone else that was just really trippy because I have never experienced that before. I've never, I never experienced synchronicities to begin with, but especially on the aspect of on a situation when it comes where like I'm at this low, def, almost defenseless state where it's like I'm losing hope because I myself have fallen again. I myself dropped the ball again. And then it's like I've realized, man, it's like it's not me. It can never be me because it's always been me and I've always failed. I've always dropped the ball. I've always been put into a circumstance to where I was tried I was tried more than what I felt like I could handle. So I would always buckle, I would always give in, I would always fall back to my flesh, fall back to myself. And it's like now I've been reassured and I'm beginning to see that there is hope. And damn, I'm actually kind of want to tear up thinking about it because it's real, realer than every one of you could ever imagine. And that's what I'm hoping I can get you to experience it. But thanks for listening. Join in for part two because I'm definitely going to keep going, at least do one more. And yeah, peace, love, chicken grease. Love you. Please like, subscribe, comment. Commenting is a big one. And just no, well, subscribing and liking is a big one too. But all of it's big. But yeah, join in for the next one. Peace.